J-Wolf, he's Trap King.
With the amendment of the South African bill, actually, let me read it for you, Gugu. So it says that it's Bill number 3. The title is "What is the government doing about GBV?" Amendment to Domestic Violence Act. So this one is very interesting. If someone has knowledge, reasonable belief, or suspicion that an act of domestic violence has been committed against a child, a person with a disability, or an older person. I don't know why they don't mention normal people, but okay. And fails to report it to a social worker or police officer, they can be fined and even imprisoned. So now the whole "I can't do anything" it just goes out of the window.
It's good.
It's good. How do you think they can micromanage that? Like to really find out what's actually
I think the hardest part will be find out how
especially if you're neighbors. I think the first people you should check your neighbors if they know something, noise, ever seen incidences where.
But I think that's what we need. We need more people talking, more people calling out names, calling out people that have been there. Because some of these people that do these atrocious actions, they are known in the public. Some are known for their actions and it's been going on. So I think we need such a step that will be. I think the main aim of it is to call out those people, not necessarily people that don't say anything.
The people who are actually doing it.
People who are doing it, and that they get the right help, or
What type of help do you think would help?
It's a tough one because you're dealing with a lot of people. You're dealing with various problems. It's
Something that's in the mind.
It could be something in the mind, something. I don't think it's because we have programs. We have these preventative programs that have been there. I think we have programs even for men, even for the victims. And I think from those points of view, it's either maybe it's a mental problem or it's just I think it's not that easy. Maybe a psychologist may be able to
come into play
with what is actually the problem.
I think they're very vital in such a situation. So, welcome to WMTV, your go-to channel for South African topical issues. I'm your host, Njabulo Koza, and I have a very special guest today.
Hi.
This is my guest. Hi to her. How are you?
I'm okay, how are you?
I'm okay. Do you mind giving the people who will be watching maybe a brief introduction of yourself?
Okay. My name is Gugu Gama. I'm a master's student at the University of Johannesburg. I'm a plant anatomist. I'm also in the Fellowship of Black Women in Science, and overall I'm just a person who likes to be involved in educational and a lot of community projects and recreational projects.
Okay. Are you comfortable?
Yes.
I read some book about body language. When you're like this, you're kind of uptight. Are you okay?
Yes, I'm okay.
I have to sigh because it's a sensitive topic. It shouldn't be because we think that naturally hurting the next person is a bad thing. But somehow these people have different opinions, and these opinions drive into us having a division in society, especially between the genders that are affected. The topic at hand today is gender-based violence, and whenever you say that to someone, or whenever you say something to someone, there's a way that they receive whatever that's being said to them, and then there's a way that they reply to whatever is being said. When someone says gender-based violence to me and they ask me, like, what is it or what do you think of it, I have a way for me to reply to that. And I'm a guy, I have my own experiences. You're a girl. What are your experiences? What do you have to say about gender-based violence in a general sense, so we can just have an understanding of where you are?
For me, I think even from the time you called me up to talk about this topic, it's a very sensitive topic. I wouldn't say I personally relate, but it's something that's all over, something that has been all over, like in terms of people going, whether you see it on TV or whether it's just friends who go through it. It's something that's very personal and very hurtful, I think, as a woman, to see that so many other women and so many girls and even children are victims of such a very painful thing. So it's the way I feel like the way it's happening now, because there's so many stories that are coming up. It's as if it's just in their mind, and it's something that's been there. It's been there for years, and to call it even GBV, for me, I feel like there's more to it. There's a lot of violence that takes place, or it's not, or maybe it's the right time. Or maybe it's time for it now to be known and for it to be escalated in this manner, and for women to maybe speak out more, or for it to be in people's eyes, or even for the men to know it more. Because sometimes when I speak to some of my male friends, for them it's not such a huge thing for them, because sometimes when you don't experience something, or when it's not affecting you, you may not necessarily know how it feels or the effects that it has. So it's not an easy topic, but hopefully we can break it down today.
Yeah, for me as well, it's not an easy topic because I'm a Malum, an uncle that has a lot of nieces. So I'm just surrounded by like a lot of females. Like even growing up, it was just like my mom, my aunts. So there's a lot of women that I know in my life, and if something that affects them and puts them at risk is not being addressed or is not being understood, I have to set an example and have a stance or like a standpoint for me to say that I'm not okay with what's going on. I have this opinion, and an opinion that's not really against or not trying to justify or not trying to find a way to make it seem okay, because it's an issue that I have noticed and I wanted your take on it. Especially because I'm a guy, I'm surrounded by guys, and it's something that they uphold, a mentality or a mindset that they uphold, that women are supposed to do this in order for this not to happen. You're not supposed to be seen morally less or apparently less. Is there a word like that, Bazi? Apparently, like
Appearance or what?
kind of like appearance, like you're supposed to look a certain way,
physically,
not like the way you dress.
Or the way you dress, yes.
Yeah, like you dress in a certain way, so this won't happen to you because you dressed in that way. How do you feel about that notion that goes out into the society regarding the way women dress specifically? Because it feels like the idea or what they are trying to say is that because you dressed in a certain way, certain things are going to happen to you.
I've heard those instances. I think even there were cases, I think Brie or something like that, there was a lady who was wearing short skirts and then it was all latex on her. But I think that just shows some of the problems that are there, because there are even cases where you find men raping very young women. So in that case, very young children,
like babies.
Like babies. So in that case, where does the appearance or your physical...
I don't think a diaper is that appealing.
So you see, the problem is not even how a woman dresses, but there's a deeper problem with maybe the perpetrators, because in cases of children who are even months-old children who are in primary and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a deeper problem.
So it can't be a parent.
It can be, yeah. Maybe it's an influence, but I don't think it should be such a problem that what I wear, then it also arouses you or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Why why is the problem seen on the woman only, but the person that's even causing the problem, there's not even much emphasis or much effect on them, or to say why are you even doing that, you know?
Yeah, the why is very interesting.
And that's the hard part, the why.
Yeah. There's also that notion of the fact that men are killed more, although it's not gender-based for them, but there's a statistic regarding men dying more and being like them dying more than women, and it just makes people think that, you know, all lives matter and not just women that are affected by violence. Those lives matter. So is that a correct mind frame to uphold? Especially if we want to move forward and develop from a place where we don't know about the influences revolving gender-based violence. Is that a stance point we're supposed to have to move forward?
Okay, it's not that easy. I think it's like how you say in Black Lives Matter. It's not necessarily when you say Black Lives Matter, you're just focusing on the blacks, but you're saying because of the certain, I think the certain treatments they've been getting, or the certain, you know, things that we've been through, and you're trying to now to be on par with the other groups. You're not necessarily putting the other groups down, because of course we have so many opinions and everyone takes it in their own way. The reason why I say that when we talk about gender-based violence, and even that stats that you're talking about, I wasn't aware of. I've seen how, I think with the women, there's a lot of women who are being killed, and the statistics, even here in South Africa, are very high. But for us to focus on that does not mean that we are now diminishing these men dying. Even that is a topic on its own that needs to be focused at hand. But it does not necessarily say this is more important than the other.
That is very important to know. It's very much so.
It's not important than any other, because even the man itself, the boy child, the man, it's you know, it's things that need to be dealt with, whether it be mentally, whether it be through reinforcing some laws or anything like that. But it's.
What's your take on the amendment of the law? This happened, like, we're recording. What's today's date? The 9th of September 2020. And I think 2 days ago, was it yesterday?
Yeah, I think I saw it. I'm not sure when it was.
They amended the law. Do you think it should have been done way before? Is it something that's been delayed?
Of course, I think it should have been done. Maybe because now we're getting more effect on gender-based violence. Hence,
it's constant.
It's constant now. I think even maybe this thing of the pandemic might have even elevated things more. Hence, now we're seeing that actually this is a serious problem, because we started getting more cases, more things, more, you know, it became even more as if being in damage.
And it's not something that's new. So the very important question that I want to ask, because these actions are very vile, they're atrocious, it's just unspeakable, unheard of. And every time a crime like that just comes out, my heart drops, and I feel like, how can you do that to like another human? So, should the death penalty come back for such people, especially if they have been found and tried guilty? Should they be hung or electrocuted or maybe drowned? Do you think they drowned?
Not drowned. It shouldn't be like a bad death.
What do you think? Do you think it should come back? Death penalty. Were we alive when the death penalty was like a thing? When was it shut down? Do you know?
I don't even know.
We'll pull up the stats for the show. but I don't know right now. Off the top, I don't know. So what do you think?
I don't know, I'm not sure, but maybe let's wait for this amendment, see how things go, see what change can be, we can get from there.
Okay.
But for now,
You're sitting on the fence.
yeah, I wouldn't say, because for me it's very harsh, I understand they're doing a harsh thing, but...
Okay.
but
So, to conclude it,
yeah.
what do you have to say for the people who are following your life, what you do? What do you have to say about such an issue? Kind words you can share for people who have experienced it, advice?
For me, I would say, I think people should try and speak up. I know it's not easy, I think we can say speak up, but it's not easy. Sometimes I think even the environments that you may be in, sometimes they don't even believe you, or you don't even have that support, or you just, even the environment itself, I think it plays a major role to the issue that we have
Yeah.
we're talking about. But I think people should try and speak up, try and get the help, and even us, just as ordinary people, if we know of something, if I hear a friend or I hear someone, whatever help that I can do, I think it's very vital that I take that step and I help that sister, that brother, or whoever that may be in such a, both ways, whether it's the male or female, not necessarily focusing on one, but at the matter at hand, so that the real problem is solved, so that we don't have all these consequences of it. So for me, I try, whether it's listening to someone or whether it's going to an orphanage or whatever help that you can do. Even such platforms, I think you guys are also making a huge difference, in terms of relating that knowledge and making it more aware, and also trying to help. It can help someone maybe who may be watching this episode right now, to say there's people that are relating to what I'm going through, and that you're not alone. So there's always help. There's always help. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Those are the words from Mr. Gama. I'm Jabril Koza. Thank you guys for watching, and stay tuned. Switch on your bell notification right here. Was it here? Whatever. It's WMTV, we out.
Spam. We're back in.
Yeah, come- Welcome to WNTV. Wow. I don't know why I have like these words in my head and then I can't say it.
It's very Melanie TV.
It's too long. Welcome to Wearing Melody TV. Welcome.
Speak up, nigga.
Welcome to WNTV. Wow. I got it. No, relax, I got it. Are you gonna stop me?
Seriously, from
Don't do